going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka Drive. I'm ready, guys. Week 11 of the P4G, our team builder here, where the Minnesota Vikavolt are taking on the Mewtwo Laos FC and Coach Professor FX. Because I'm hyped for this matchup going on tomorrow, hit that like button down below, and definitely make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. If you didn't know, we actually have WBE Week 1 starting as well, so lots of content coming up. You get the team builder today, the match tomorrow for P4G, team builder for WBE tomorrow, and then the match for WBE on Sundays. So Saturdays for P4G, Sundays for WBE. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. So let's break down our team here. Let's talk about what Professor's bringing. He's actually one of the top teams in the league. I pull up the standings right now. We're sitting at 8-2. We are the #1 team in the league with a 22 differential. The Mewtwo Laos FC are 7-3 so far, so he's just one game behind me with a 15 differential. So if he were to beat us, then he would actually be tied with us in record, and same with we'd be ahead in differential, but we don't want that to happen, right? We want to keep our standing still here. I decided to mix it up a little this week in the team builder, bring some different stuff, and I think it fits the matchup anyway, but I think it should be a lot of fun. So let's look at his team. He's got Jirachi, the flinch god, one of the best Pokemon in the game. Jirachi is just such a threat, dude. It can really be physically offensive, specially offensive. It can set up Stealth Rocks if you get like a team supporter and just super bulky. Its typing is pretty good, so you got to be really careful there. Obviously, Serene Grace is annoying. Milotic, of course, very, very bulky water type. Crazy. I was running a lot of calcs and I was just blown away at how bulky this thing is. So you definitely got to be cautious there. This thing can really take some serious hits. Also has recovery with Recover, obviously. Weavile, one of the biggest offensive threats in the game. It's one of his Z Crystal users. Gotta be careful there, excuse me. Knockoff, Ice Shard, Ice Skull Crash. It gets low kick if it wants to run that. So lots of different sets there from Weavile, so you gotta be careful how strong that thing is. Gligar is a defogger, stealth rocker, does have carry Eviolite, which is nice, so I know it can't be Yachi Berry, obviously having that big weakness to ice types. Mimikyu, which is kind of an interesting Pokemon. Mimikyu is like the anti-setup Pokemon. It's also really good because of its disguise, won't break. It hits okay, it's not like super strong or anything or super fast, but it can be a pretty good Pokemon, especially since it basically gets a built-in Focus Sash every time, so you do have to kind of keep that in mind. He's got a Mega Garchomp, which is an interesting Mega pick. Mega Garchomp is not as good as Garchomp in my opinion. I don't have to worry about Yachi Berry, I don't have to worry about Choice Scarf, but it hits really hard, right? There's not many good, super good switch-ins to Mega Garchomp, so you do have to be kind of careful there. So he's got this big Mega Garchomp. He's got a Swellow. Swellow is such a problem, dude. Especially offensive Swellow with Boom Burst, Heat Wave, things like that can really, really rip apart a team, so you do have to be careful there. Luckily, you have a good answer to it, but nevertheless, Swellow is a big, big threat with the Choice Specs. He can also run like an offensive, physically offensive Swellow with Facade and stuff, but the special set's usually a little bit better now. Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat is actually, excuse me, one of the biggest problems that I face in this match. Its typing is pretty unique in that it's really only weak to rock. I think that's it, right? Just rock. It's weak to rock and water, actually. Yeah, so he's got a few interesting weaknesses, but its levitate ability really helps it out and keeps it off the ground from Earthquake. But it does have a big Stealth Rock weakness, and if we can exploit that, that'll be helpful. Speaking of Stealth Rocks, he's got his Hazard Setter and Remover in Fortress. Fortress is pretty tricky to use because of its 4x weakness to fire, but because he has 2 ice weaknesses, like big ice weaknesses, Fortress probably works a little better for him because people probably attack on HP Ice instead of HP Fire. And then he's got the Meganium, of course, very bulky grass type, nothing too special though. Usually a Cleric, and Girder, which actually I think Girder, if I look at his team, his Girder actually has, I think, the most kills on his team. No, Weavile's got 12 kills, Girder's got 10 kills, so Girder's definitely one of his top Pokemon on his team. Like, Girder's just a monster, I guess, apparently, for his team, I don't know. But let's talk about what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it. Let's kick things off with Tapu Koko here, rocking the Timid Life Orb, enough speed to outspeed Weavile. If he runs a Scarfer like Scarf Jirachi, he outspeeds me, nothing I can do there. But Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, of course, for Gligar and for Garchomp, U-Turn and Calm Mind. This is, excuse me, the first time I'm bringing Calm Mind this season on Tapu Koko. I was torn between a couple different options here in terms of what I can bring, but I love Calm Mind on the set, and the reason why is because this thing threatens things out like Milotic, potentially if his, Milotic primarily, but some of his other attackers, like what is Fortress really gonna do? Rotom can only do so much. It can overheat, but it starts to drop his special attack, so if he has like a plus or -2 special attack Rotom, I can send this thing and I can Calm Mind in front of it and really threaten him. It's pretty situational. Thunderbolt Ice, HP Ice is pretty good anyway, but the Calm Mind could really secure the game. Like with the Life Orb, I'm a little sketched out about running both, but I think it could be actually really good. So otherwise, pretty standard stuff. Max special attack. The next Pokemon is our Umbreon, who I think is going to be really important in this match. Wish, Protect, Foul Play, Baton Pass, pretty standard Umbreon set. We've got the Inner Focus instead of Synchronize. I honestly didn't even realize this thing got Inner Focus, but when I saw it, I was so happy because it stops the flinching from Jirachi. It stops Icicle Crash flinch from Weavile. He cannot flinch me. I'm max HP, max defense, so we're defensive Umbreon, basically meant to take on Jirachi and Weavile primarily. We could also take some hits from things like Garchomp. You know, we're bulky enough. Excuse me. That we could take hits from a lot of other things. It's early, man. It's always early when I record these videos. We're bulky enough that we can take hits from the special side of things too, but otherwise Foul Play is just really good. Baton Pass for, you know, kind of just getting around the team and all that good stuff there. So nothing too crazy. I forgot to put Umbreon on the screen, but now he's there. So definitely excited about our Umbreon right now. I think it's going to be really good. And the Rocky Helmet, Weavile, you got to wear down Weavile, man. If it's carrying a Life Orb, you got to chip it down with Stealth Rocks, things like that. Stealth Rocks are so important in this match. Wearing down like a flinching, attempting Jirachi, bam, you can't touch me. So I really like physically defensive Umbreon here. Next Pokemon is gonna be Reese's. I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, dude. Making its debut is Reese's, the Don fan. Adamant, sturdy leftovers. He's got max HP, a good amount of defense, a good amount of attack. Ice Shard, Earthquake, Knockoff, Rapid Spin. He is our hazard removal. I'm so glad I have a Rapid Spinner now. I think it's super clutch, especially in a matchup like this where I'm dealing with a Fortress, which could be, excuse me, man, I'm sorry guys. Could be really annoying because of his hazards ability, so I can definitely remove those hazards with Rapid Spin. Leftovers there for longevity against Fortress. Keep him from Volt switching out if that's what he wants to run. Ice Shard obviously there for Garchomp, Garchomp and Gligar, and then the Knockoff is there to just spread around this team because he's got a lot of bulk potential leftovers and things like that. And then Earthquake is there to just hit really hard against things like Jirachi, which I just thought made a lot of sense. Ice Shard is also there for priority against Swellow, which is pretty nice too. We're bringing our Bronzong here, so I got some really bulk. I got 3 bulky Pokemon in the row. Bronzong is especially offensive Pokemon, and this thing takes on that Swellow so incredibly well. Stealth Rock, Toxic, Gyro Ball, Shadow Ball. This thing is designed to basically use Gyro Ball against a lot of things. Shadow Ball just to weaken things like Jirachi. And then Toxic to wear big tanks like Milotic down. Heat Proof reduces the damage from things like Scald Burns, so I can take those Milotic Scald Burns all day. And I also have Culber Berry there to ensure that I can live a knockoff from Weavile. So if he tries to bring the Weavile in against me, even though I have a couple options, Weavile is one of those Pokemon that can be really scary in a battle. So if he wants to try to battle me and hit me with the knockoff, I just Gyro Ball his face in. So he's really got to be cautious there. And again, like I said, I could potentially Toxic the Rotom and force the Stealth Rocks and make him switch in and out a bunch. Like if he doesn't bring his Fortress, he doesn't really have hazard removing options aside from Gligar Fortress, so I can keep that in mind. And really, like, getting of Stealth Rock is going to be so important to help wear down that Rotom and like the Weavile primarily. The next Pokemon we're bringing is an offensive Pokemon, but still kind of bulky. We got the Assault Vest Primarina. I wanted to go with the Specs this week, but I felt like Assault Vest was better actually, just because it helps me deal with the Rotom a little bit better. If he wants to go for a T-Bolt, I know I can live the hit and I can fire off a big Thunderbolt. I've got a lot of speed on this thing. I usually don't run a lot of speed on my Primarinas. I usually run bulky, but this week we're actually enough speed to outspeed my Milotic, enough speed to outspeed non-invested Gligar. We're going to be outspeeding Rotom if he's not speed invested. So I really wanted to creep up there. I'm sure he's going to be smart enough to creep the Rotom and put some speed on it, but I may catch him off guard with the Assault Vest and be able to hit him with a big Scald. Energy Ball's there to help take on Milotic. If he's got especially defensive Milotic, it's pretty tough for us, man. I'm going to have to outspeed it and I'm going to have to wear it down with Energy Balls, but he really can't do much back to us, so I'm not as concerned, but Milotic is a really big threat in this match, so I have to be careful there. Moonblast obviously just wrecks his team, and Scald is really nice for things like Jirachi. Weavile's got a tough matchup. It's going to be forced to run Poison Jab in this matchup if it wants to do anything because of my Primarina, because I resist his dual stab. So I think he knows that. I think he's going to have to run Poison Jab, but he's going to be really strapped for move slots, because if he runs Poison Jab, then he doesn't have coverage for Umbreon. He won't have Low Kick and stuff, so definitely got to keep that all in mind. I don't think Umbreon's that heavy. Like, I don't even know what like Low Kick does to Umbreon. If I calc that, Weavile Low Kick, I don't think it does a lot. Like, let's say he's Choice Banded Low Kick. Let's see, because I doubt it does much. He might even carry Pursuit, though, for Latios. Yeah, Low Kick does like 40% max, so it doesn't even do anything, so it wouldn't even be worth him carrying it. And last but not least, we are bringing Fox the Phoenix, baby. Timid, Flame Body, Gracium Z. We've got enough speed to outspeed Rotom 100% of the time. Hidden Power, Ice, Ancient Power, Flamethrower, and Solar Beam. This thing gets Ancient Power, dude. If I get an Ancient Power boost, we win the game. That's amazing, isn't it? Like, we actually win the game if I get an Ancient Power boost. There's nothing on his team that can take us on. Gracium Z, Solar Beam will one-shot some Milotics. After a little bit of chip damage, it should do the damage there. But otherwise, we rip through his team. HP Ice. Like I said, if we get a +1 boost, the game's over. Like, there's nothing he can do about it. So, Ancient Power, 10% chance, does about half to Rotom. One of the nice things is Stealth Rock plus Flamethrower plus Ancient Power does knock out most Rotoms if they're offensive. If he's super bulky, Jirachi, it's not going to be the case, but that's really cool to note. Like, if he switches into Stealth Rocks and a Flamethrower, predicting, then I can obviously hit him with an Ancient Power on the next turn and knock him out. So, a couple things to note there, but ultimately, max special attack, and like I said, this thing, like, Grassy MZ Solar Beam, really cool. I was going to run Rocky MZ Ancient Power. I really wanted to, but I kind of, after building the team, I was like, you know what, Milotic's a little bit more of a threat than I want it to be. I had U-turn on this thing instead of Solar Beam. I was like, Milotic's kind of a threat. I think I can deal with Rotom with Stealth Rocks a little bit better. But Milotic is one of those Pokemon that I've lost games to just because I didn't have enough power to knock it out at the end of the game once things get kind of weakened, because it's just so bulky and it can really take a lot of hits. So I have Coco for it, I have Moltres for it, Primarina can wear it down, I have Toxic on Bronzong, I can knock off its item with Donphan on a switch in. So we have a couple things there that are in our favor to kind of deal with this Milotic, but Solar Beam's really nice. Again, things like Flamethrower is really nice. And again, Flame Body is super clutch, dude, because if he tries to hit me with Weavile knockoff, he can't knock off our item and he gets Flame Body potential hacks. We've got the opportunity for Jirachi to try and Iron Head flinch us, Flame Body action there, which is really nice. Gyro Ball from Fortress, things like that. So even Girder, like Girder can't really do as much to us. He might have rock coverage on things, but a lot of my opponents haven't really been preparing for Moltres because it takes up that extra move slot to run rock coverage, and I don't really bring Moltres very often, but hopefully it can put in some work this week. So that's our team builder for Professor FX and the Mewtwo Laos FC. Should be a fun match, man. I'm just enjoying things. We're in the playoffs. We're pretty much almost locked down for a playoff spot. I think we need to win maybe 1 or 2 more games as we close out the season, then we lock our playoff spot, but I definitely would like to lock the top spot in the league as we close things out here. So thank you guys for watching. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by ADrob, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Peace.